Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. I am playing a 1510 game today. I am rated 1817. My opponent's 1879. Here we go. Let's play a Carol Khan. And we'll see what they do. I'm guessing takes. Seems to be the main move these days. Okay. I saw this quite a bit more recently, which has been kind of surprising. In fact, I played a senior chess tournament this weekend, and this was the line we went into. I know the theory pretty deeply on this, but I also don't love the position I get out of it. So it's kind of like, do I want to re-study all this material, or do I want to just say, let's just play that position better? All right, my opponent is apparently baffled by the absolute mainline move. So they are taking a long time for what is the move that everyone makes. So maybe they have something up their sleeve. Maybe they've never seen this before. Maybe they just stepped away for a moment. It's unclear. All right. I'm playing it like it's a blitz game because I know the theory so well. I'm going to gain a little bit of time on my opponent. But the point here is we're just going to make this knight run around for a bit. We get to develop the bishop. The knight has already moved twice. It's going to move a third time. And also it moves to a terrible spot. So it just seems like such a good beginning for black. I used to think this was... I will say against lower rated players, when I was lower rated, I felt like this was, I don't know, what I wanted to see most. I felt like I got a big advantage every game. As I've gotten higher rated and playing better players, it feels more draw-ish to me. And so when I play against a higher rated player, I'm usually kind of happy, like, ooh, okay. There's a like, they might push for the win, right? Not that I'm hoping for a draw, but a higher rated player will often push for the win. Whoa, okay. So they took a long time to make a very weird move that I don't know if I've ever seen before. Now, does that mean it's bad? Not necessarily, right? This is the trap in the opening, is to assume all your opponent's weird moves are bad. I think I'm going to say it looks fine and just develop pieces like I would normally. So now I'll just go here and say, okay, you've moved your knight 3 times to capture a pawn. 1, 2, 3 times for a pawn trade. So I basically am now playing the white pieces. I think that would be a better way to think of this. Yeah, I think I'll probably just go here and hit that. And there's a decent chance he'll go here, and then I'll go here, and then he'll go there again. Okay. So that's fine. This is the normal spot for the bishop anyway. And then the next question is what? Do I go here perhaps? Invite this knight to move again? Take here, and then just, have a very nice position? I think that's probably what I'm going to do. That's interesting. Yeah. I don't think I have much choice. I think I just have to fall back here. They'll take, and I think I'll take this way. Yeah, I'll take this way. Keeping these pawns together. I'm a pretty big fan of that. It's very hard to attack this H-file anyway. In a worst case scenario, I could still castle long if I wanted to. I don't want to. I am looking at potentially going here. If they go there, doesn't seem to gain me that much. These are moves that seem reasonable. Wow, that is such a weird move. You're gonna really go into this like utterly blunted thing that seems so weird. Why not go like here and at least put pressure that way? Seems like a very odd move. So I guess the question is, do I want to trade a lot of this material off? That's the question. Because if I go here, I'm really inviting takes, 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 takes. And it's like, we really need to think about what does the game look like after that. Okay. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to test something my coach likes to talk a lot about. That the queen knight combination as you move into the endgame is much better than the queen bishop, because the queen knight can cover so many more squares. So let's try it out. I could take back this way. I don't want to do that though. I'm actually quite fine with takes, takes. And then we've got this 3 versus 2 over here. And then my knight gets to go to a lovely square. They'll probably go here to back up this pawn. And then, not entirely sure where I go from. Wow. That is a very weird move. So you are inviting this. So what is this person trying to do? So it's like this, this. And now is their idea that if they go here, I'll go here. And this is suddenly much weaker. I am covering it already, though. Maybe the thought is after here, here. I think I would go here first, though. And then if here, then move. This just seems very odd to let me double their pawns as we're heading into the endgame. In the middle game, I could see this being fine. Or earlier in the game, it just feels very late to allow that. I'm thinking like here, 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 and now I'm hitting this pawn. Seems like a good way to develop. I want to develop this piece. So let's do it. This I guess is interesting. I don't know. Okay, didn't do it. I'm going to go here as per my plan. I'm just going to jam this knight into here and start pressuring them. Maybe bring this guy over. I guess if I go here, I could just take. I think I would be totally fine with that, though. But I think maybe first I'll go here. And then if here takes, takes, this is hit. Okay, the problem you're facing is that the queen is covering that. And I'm not sure. This is going to sound weird. I don't know that they know that. It's certainly something that I momentarily forgot as well. So I'm going to go here and be on this. And we'll see. Are they just going to have a complete meltdown and take here? I kind of think they are. I know it sounds just wild to even suggest, but I kind of think they're going to take there. This is okay. It is a weird spot for the queen. Interestingly now, this stuff is kind of interesting. I'm just going to castle out of that setup. I don't know. There's like here, here, takes, here. They need one more thing. But I wanted to castle anyway, so that works pretty well. Question is now, like, what am I doing with the queen? What am I doing with all of this? Because they've got these 2 pieces on this pawn. So I have to remember that c5 becomes a really bad move right now. But I could go like here, here, and then maybe push c5. But if I do that, I think my opponent would be pretty happy to just like maybe go here. Yeah, that would actually be really good. Because I can't take. Right, I could take here, but then takes, queen falls to the rook. So we don't want to do that. Not really sure what to do. The nice thing about this game, though, is I have, almost 14 minutes left. So that's kind of a long time for me. I'm not used to that. Okay, I think probably the move is here. And then if pushes, it's like takes, 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 takes. And the queen does still fall at the end of all of this. That is quite annoying. Very interesting. Okay, so if here, push, takes, 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 rook takes, queen takes, pawn takes, queen hangs. And we gain out of that these two and these two, and we give up these two and these two. So it's essentially even. It's not the end of the world, but I quite like my position right now. I think I'm just going to go here. And if he goes here, that's not so bad. What about here? No, that's even worse. Other ideas for the queen. Where else might we want to go? Would we want to go here instead? I'm just trying to figure out, like, we've got 3 choices if we want to be on that file. Are any of them better than the others? The problem with this is this actually forces me to move again. Oh, also I want to keep guarding this pawn, right? So that means there is only one move with the queen if I'm going to move the queen. What's also interesting about this game is this plus this. It's kind of solid, right? Like they've kind of fixed some problems. But now, does this work okay? No, still does not work because of this problem. I'm going to go here. And now I've kind of put it on them of like, what do you want to do, right? We're kind of at an impasse here. No one really has anything great, so I would like to offer you the opportunity to do something. And I think my next series of moves might be this. And probably it'll go here. Yeah. But I can, maybe I just go kerplunk. And this knight looks pretty good. And if they take, and I take this way, I'm on this pawn. This pawn falls still. That pawn's going to be eternally annoying, isn't he? If I go here, here. I don't really want him to take, is the funny thing. Do I go here first? All right, can my opponent go here is the first question. Oh, here's also an interesting point. If I go here, they have this move immediately. But I would have this. But they have that lurking. I think I would like that, actually, though. This pawn's super weak. Okay, here, takes, let him have the pawn. Take that pawn. I don't think I want to do that. Do I go here? I guess so. I don't really like this move, but I'm going to do it. It's covering this again. This is a pretty slow position. It's not like my opponent has anything amazing. I won't be shocked if they just decide to double on this pawn, because it really is sort of my only weakness in the position, so I could see them thinking, like, I should hit that. That's a weird idea. I guess the plan is just to come all the way down and weaken this all the way. But I'm going to go here and say, now this bishop is just done, unless, the best thing you have is to trade. And now if this all happens, I can just take. It's not wonderful for me, but I think it's fine. I'm also threatening this fork, so they have to figure something out. I won't be surprised if they go here and then here. That looks kind of like a reasonable continuation. And then I kind of have to figure out what I want to do. They should not touch this pawn. But, I mean, it doesn't fix anything to touch it anyway. What am I going to do now? This is a little bit tempting. I think more tempting is this. This pawn is already so bad. Let's just double down on that. Also, this is a little interesting, because I have this defender, but I don't think I want to do that. Also, they could just nab it at any point. I have to remember that knight is the most precarious knight ever, because once they resolve this fork threat, this is coming or this is coming. So really have to bear in mind that there always has to be an escape square for the knight, and that the knight is temporarily placed there. So where is this knight going? Okay, that is a very weird move. How am I breaking through in this game is the question. I think probably the place to break through is here. And I have not acknowledged that quickly enough, and I've not set myself up to be able to do that well. I might not be too late though. Like maybe I can just go here, here, here. No, I don't want the queen in front though. Yeah, I think the next move is this. What about knight goes here? Knight goes here. If he goes here, I think that works pretty well. So what am I doing as my move though? I don't have a move. I'm thinking about going here just to slow this guy down, but it takes away my ability to go here. Boy, this is a hard one. I just don't like that my rooks are doing nothing now. Uh-oh, I have to sneeze. Oh yeah. All right. So we're at that critical moment where I don't know what to do, right? Like I know what I wouldn't mind doing. I wouldn't mind pushing this pawn. I wouldn't mind pushing this pawn. I would love if my opponent pushed this pawn. But as far as like improving my plan, I'm just kind of spinning my wheels here. I'm considering going. I think I am just going to go here. And just. It's not an immediate thing, but at least I'm starting to set up being able to move that pawn. Alright. I had to blow my nose there off camera. Okay, so. What do we got here? I don't know. I kind of feel like my opponent isn't sure either, but my opponent has some neat ideas at least. They can continue pushing this. They could do something like this. Not that that does anything remarkable, but I don't know. It just feels like they're improving their position a bit. I might even go here if I were them, just to kind of like bother me, right? It doesn't really do anything, but it's a little bothersome. Okay, so how do I push this pawn? If I push, I need 2 here. So I'm really considering here as my next 2 moves. That's interesting. It lets me go here, which is a little bit strange. I think I like that. Maybe then I go here. And then I can open up this file. So yeah, I think the queen here to here would be pretty strong. So we're going to go here. I don't think... Oh, this rook's going here. Now I see. They're like, I don't know what to do. I'll just take advantage of this H file. Got it. Took me a moment there. But I think I'm going here. I do have to be careful that it's a discovery. But it's with the queen. So, like, let's say they took here. And I took back. And they took my queen. Or I could also go take their piece with check. And then take back. And either way, I think we're even. And now they're off this file. So if they take here, I'm taking here, and now I'm the one on the open file. And it's going to be kind of hard for my opponent to get back to it. So I'm covering this square for the rook. If this rook tries to go, this rook is on it. Suddenly, my position that was really, I don't know about bad, but like struggling, my opponent's making this like incredibly basic attempt at an attack that I don't know is going to work at all. Alright, so we do have to be careful. The queen's under fire. I was thinking this, though. I'm not sure I love it, though. It's like... I'm I'm hitting this pawn. I'm actually hitting this. I could go there and hit that pawn. But I am sort of threatening mate. Not mate, but big stuff. Let's say they move here to get another piece over here. Maybe I'm overconfident, but I still don't think they can get in. I'm going to go here with the idea of like here, here. My queen is a little out of play, but I think it's going to be okay. Also, I have this idea again, hitting the queen, hitting this. I think I'm going to leave the knight over here, though. Feels like a decent defender. I just don't know what this rook is doing. Oh, I guess they have a clever idea. Here, here, mate. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, so maybe that's a clever idea. But maybe if they go here, and then I do here, so they're probably going to move him first. But then here, then maybe I can just go like that and get out that way. Okay. So they've moved him. Is this worth even doing is the question. I think maybe this would be better. And then I get to threaten that. And if he goes here, then I have this. Okay, so we're going to go here. Here. Threatening this pawn. Oh, lordy, I just hung a rook. This is definitely the danger in having your pieces be so scattered. Like, my pieces are very scattered, and it did not register with me how scattered they were. I was so focused on other things. I don't normally just hang a piece straight out like that. So that's kind of surprising. And I also have a lot of time. I have 8 minutes left. So it's not a, oh, it's time pressure. It's just straight up. How did that even happen? So let's see. So the queen was backing up the rook. Queen moved. Okay, so this was the problem. When the queen went here, I did not acknowledge this. I just was like, oh, that's weird. They're trying to get their queen in here. That's not going to work very well. I did not look at what the queen was actually doing in the moment, right? Which was something pretty good. Okay, so do we have any way in any universe to come back? I don't think the answer is yes. I think being down a rook is too far. Okay, that's sort of interesting. If I had opened files, I would be like, maybe. But something like this, and they look very safe. But maybe I've got this, and then nowhere. Also, this is mate. That's very unfortunate way to lose this. This is here, mate. Oh, boy. That's unfortunate. I was feeling pretty decent about this one. When I go here, I can't. The knight doesn't go there, actually, it turns out. That's how bad a shape I'm in. I'm trying to make illegal moves with the knight. Is this just resign? I think it might be. The funny thing is, like, this, there's no opportunity for mess ups. They have to go there. That is their only move. Whatever. We'll go here. They'll go back. I'll guard against mate. I don't know. None of this matters at this point. My opponent would have to make the most earth-shattering error ever for me to have a chance in this game. I am going to do something clever that does not work, which is like here followed by here. The problem is this looks pretty great. So there is nothing to be had here. What about this? Does this trap the rook entirely? No, the rook can go to there. But now he can go here. So now we've got something. Not something good, but something. In fact, this, though, is going to lead to mate again. So that's annoying. Oh, man. We're going to do it anyway because we got nothing else. Yeah, but this is going to be checkmate. It's here, here, checkmate. And I don't have any choice I have to take. And now that's mate. So, what a weird game. I was feeling really good about it for a while. My opponent played very strange moves in the opening. But they're the white pieces, right? They can kind of do that. What is... Wait, that's not mate? Oh, that's not mate. Right. But it's still mate, actually. They come in from the back and mate me here. That's cool. That's a neat little mate. All right. Let's look at this game. Where did this get away from us? So we had this very strange decision in the opening. Almost no one has done this in the master database. Does it mean it's wrong? No. I played here, which is normal. So now it's just basically we have a fully equal game instead of white having that tiny edge they're supposed to have. And all this is fine. I made this decision to trade off a lot of pieces. And I thought it's pretty even, but I've got the advantage here. That really just did not play out at all. But I feel like I was played fine. Put my pieces on good squares. But about here is where things started drifting a bit. And I realized, like, okay, I feel like I'm slightly better, but I don't know how to be better. Again, we're just kind of stuck in equal land. And now, apparently, I have a move. There's an only move here that wins the game. And we found it earlier, is the funny thing. This wins. And the reason it didn't win before is because the rook could go here. But now, it's a dreaded David versus Goliath moment. See the Chessable course, the Chess Tactics, Chess Journeys Tactical Workbook, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that works quite well, right? So you go here. Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. Best move here, and then bam. And that's game. So, actually the best move is, I think, like here. Wow. Oh yeah, that is a really clever move. Because we can't actually take. Because then this happens. So the best move is to go here, and then they take, and then we take, and we've only won in exchange, but you know, we're winning. So this is chess, right? This is what I think happens more often than not, is you get your one single shot, and if you miss it, it often can be tough. Opponents will not usually give you another shot. And so here, this is the big problem, right? I fully didn't recognize these rooks are very oddly placed, and something happened in my brain, and I forgot that they were oddly placed, and didn't even glance at them. Like, I think I was kind of assuming this rook was here, as it normally would be, and it would be totally fine, and there was some part of my brain that knows that pattern, and was like, you don't even need to worry, and I went here, and guess what? You need to worry. So, I missed my chance. He did not. My opponent did not miss their chance, right? And now the game's over. It does not really matter what I do from here. The game is just done. So, there we go. Big takeaway. You know, don't hang your pieces. It's hard, right? That's a hard takeaway. It is one of the hardest things to do in chess, is not hang your pieces. I played in a tournament this weekend. I was very proud. I didn't make any one-move blunders like that. I really played a good games, and then here we are the next day. The next day, hanging pieces, hanging full rooks. So there's the biggest takeaway. The other takeaway, I think, is when your opponent puts their pieces in weird spots. Like, this is not hard to see that there's potential for a pawn fork there, right? Like, that is just not that hard of a move to see. Wait, how does this not? Oh, because of this. So I didn't acknowledge this either. But then here is the very interesting thing of they put their rook in a weird spot, and I was like, ooh, that rook looks weird. But I didn't then take the next step to be like, well, I mean, every single square is covered. Like, I didn't do that step. And if I had, I think I would have seen that it wasn't just a weird move, but it's actually a very problematic move. So, those are my big takeaways. Is take the shot when you've got it, and then also, you gotta look at what their pieces are actually doing. It's not just some nebulous like, oh, they're going for a ridiculous attack on the king. Okay, sure, you can recognize that. That's very surface level. Is there anything more concrete they're doing? And this is much, much more concrete. That's obviously why they made that move, was to chase this rook. Although it just feels like I go here and, their move seems kind of pointless. Actually, this is losing. What? How is this losing? Okay, I got to see that. This is No, yes, the queen is hanging. Wow. Ah, right. Okay. So, back up for a minute. I forgot all of this. This is why this happened. Okay. It's because I was so focused on this threat. Remember, when I played it, I said, we got to be careful of this. But luckily, there's nothing they can do, right? I looked at like, well, what if they take here? Well, I would take here. And so I had already decided this was kind of a pointless threat. But the queen is under fire, so we do have to move the queen. So I did notice that this queen was moved to a useless spot and that we were being attacked. So it was really the third level of this is not a useless spot, it's hitting this. And then, we have easy ways out of it. Say here. But that's why I missed it. Now I'm remembering why I missed it, because I was hyper-focused on this attack, not seeing this attack. All right. Well, I hope you found that enjoyable. I hope you found something to take away from that. And I'll see you next time on the road to 2200.